evening, all of you. I'm really happy that so many people are interested in art-related activity. I have been into this field for quite some time. I've been in design-related field for the last 25, 30 years. And I have come across different options which do require a lot of skilled people. And we always find it difficult to get the right skilled people. And at one side, there is enough opportunity. And at the other side, people always say, we don't have jobs. So there is an irony there. And second point is like, this is a time when many of the people are at crossroads. They need to choose their career. They need to choose the right course. They need to choose their future course of action. And generally, there is a feeling that the parental pressure is moving them towards engineering or medical or IT. And the children do not want that. Children always feel that they would love to be in arts, or they would love to do something which they really are passionate about. And many of the times the parents come to me and ask that my daughter is good at painting, good at sketching, and she doesn't want to get into engineering. So what should I do? What kind of course she should take? So this has been an inquiry for the last few weeks. I've got many inquiries like this. So I thought it's better to address all of these queries at one stretch, at one simple session like this. And today what I'm planning to do is I'm just going to give you a broad perspective of what is in store if you are really keen in taking up some career related to fine arts. So this may not be, this is not a researched and data-driven presentation. So I don't have exact data as to how many jobs are available and what is the kind of salaries you will get and things like that. But I can just give you an idea of, general idea of what are the opportunities which are available. So that will broaden up your view. So that has been my objective today. So before I start the presentation, I would like to give you three basic points about taking up a career in fine arts. Number one, you need to be really good at fine arts. You need to be really good at your skills. Meaning that you cannot say, and I know how to draw, I know how to paint, so I would like to make a career out of it. That's not enough. It's like saying that I know singing, so I want to be a playback singer. No, that doesn't work. So you might have recorded around 800 songs on Smule, but if you go to any of the music director and say, I have recorded about 800 songs on Smule, so why don't you give me a chance? They're not going to look at the numbers. They're going to look at the quality. They're going to look at the quality, not the quantity. So they need to assess that whether you're really good at that. So if you want to be in a career which is related to fine arts, so you have to be good at fine arts. So you need to really sharpen your skills, number one. So your skills, the quality of your skills is very, very important. Number two, you need to create a good portfolio. In the sense, in this field, I have run companies, I have recruited people, I have formed the teams. We don't see the qualification, we don't see your certificates. That doesn't mean much when you recruit somebody onto, on board for this kind of activity. What matters is how good are you in your work, how good are you with your hand. So that can be displayed only with a good portfolio. So you need to create a good portfolio, and that portfolio can be of paper, and it can be a folder. We used to carry our folders, but nowadays you don't need to. So you need to have a good Instagram with all your works displayed, or you need to have a Facebook page, or you need to have a blog. You need to have your own website if required. So you need to have some mechanism through which you can display that you have got skills, and make sure that your best works are put in there. So to communicate your abilities. So that's point number two. Point number three is you need to have good connections. It's not that once you decide to be in fine arts, you can immediately get orders and you can make money out of it. No, it's not all that easy. It's not easy in any field, for that matter. If you really want to be in IT industry, it doesn't mean that moment you join the IT industry, you become a billionaire. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to work your way through. So, and in fine arts also, you need to work your way through. You need to have that patience, and you need to constantly keep upgrading yourself with especially the digital tools. You may be excellent in terms of oil painting or watercolor painting or pencil sketches. That's fine. That's fine as far as one segment of this career opportunities go. But when you want to get into industry, when you want to get into any of this fine arts industry, you need to be good at least with a couple of digital tools. It could be a drawing tool, it could be a painting tool, it could be an animation tool, it could be a compositing tool. So you need to identify which is your area of interest, and accordingly you need to sharpen, or you need to learn skills, digital skills on that, related to that particular skill set. So that is very important. So these 3 points. Number one, you need to improve your skills. You need to be really good at your skill. Number two, you need to have a good, impressive portfolio. Number three, you should also be good at your digital skills, and you need to have a proper network. So these are very important if you really want to be successful in this field. But to give you the positive side, there are plenty of opportunities. In fact, in Western countries, there are more aesthetic-driven countries. For example, if you go to US or UK or anywhere in Europe, the cities are beautiful, the office spaces are beautiful, the houses are beautiful, the public spaces are beautiful, the signboards are beautiful, products are beautiful. So they give so much importance to beauty, the aesthetics part of it, because their basic needs are taken care. So they have their ability to appreciate beauty, design is much at a higher level. But in India, even though we were the capital of arts and crafts at one point in time, we had a very rich culture. We have very rich history of our own, art forms. But somewhere down the line in history, because of so many things happening, so many invasions and things like that, because we have become a sort of poor country, our priority is not on aesthetics. So if you go to any of the villages, or if you go to any of the slums in the city, you will be surprised at how do people live in such kind of environment, because they don't care. Because for them, food and living is more priority than keeping their house beautiful, or looking at the environment beautiful. So in that way, India has not focused more on the aesthetics and design for quite some time, but it is changing. So the message that I am trying to convey to you is it is changing now. At least the large cities are focusing on aesthetics, or large office spaces are focusing on design, and the products are getting focused on the design aspects. So if you give somebody a mobile phone which doesn't look good or looks ugly, even though it is cheaper, people prefer to pay a bit of additional cost and get some beautiful looking gadgets. So that sensitivity is coming in, so which is a huge opportunity for people who are in the fine arts or people who are in the design. So that's a good news. So which means that there is a demand for a lot of people with good taste in design, with ability to create a good environment, good aesthetics around our living space. So that is increasing. So that's a good news. So if you are really looking at this as a career, I can assure you that there is an opportunity. There is definitely an opportunity. And come to think of it now, if you really look at engineering as a career option, it's not as bright as it used to be. For example, when I graduated as an engineer, there were only 7 engineering colleges in the whole state, and there were about 2,000 engineers coming out of the colleges every year. Today, there's about, in Tamil Nadu alone, it's about 2.5 lakhs of engineers come every year. And do we have so much of jobs created every year for them? The answer is no. So either they go to IT, and even IT is now, the demand is coming down. So they need to look at other alternatives. And most of the time, I also find many engineers taking up Ola as Ola drivers or delivery boys. They are willing to do any kind of job. So it doesn't mean for the parents, especially the people who are in this group, if you are a parent and if your child is insisting that she or he would like to go for a fine arts course, nothing to worry about it, because opportunities are equal whether they finish engineering or whether they finish fine arts. Again, depending on their skill level. If they are good at fine arts, allow them to go into that fine arts, and probably they can still make a better living as a fine arts career oriented person, rather than getting into IT or engineering. Another point which I would like to go before we get into the presentation is that ultimately, what do you want in life? Money alone is not the life. I have lived through this 30 years with different phases. I started my career in telco as an automobile designer, and I graduated from IIT Bombay, IDC, Industrial Design Center, one of the world's best design centers. I am really fortunate enough to be a part of that. And I started my career in telco as a designer. So then I started. I went into consumer electronics. I went into refrigeration design. Then I started on my own. So last 25 years, 30 years, I've been on my own. I've run an animation company. I've run an e-learning company. I've also been a creative head in certain animation companies. So at the end of the day, if I really look back and see what I have done in my life the last 25 years, I'm really very happy about it, because each project is something which I have enjoyed. Each day is new. Each challenge is new. But I have absolutely celebrated my life, in the sense that each and every phase of my life, I have been in touch with the fine arts. I've been in touch with the design, and it enriches the life. So if you have that kind of attitude, if you have that kind of frame of mind, certainly, you can look at design as an option. So at the end of the day, your life will get enriched. You will like what you do. So that is what is really important. You need to be after your passion rather than money. Money will come if you are good at your passion. So that is the message which I would like to give across, and then maybe start looking at the various options which we have in front of us. So I'm going to share a screen. So I hope all of you can look at the screen. If you have any trouble in looking at the screen, please raise your hand. Now, as I was telling, what are the career opportunities in fine arts in today's scenario? I'm going to broadly discuss on 8 different areas of opportunities. One is, of course, fine arts by itself. Fine arts as a career option, it's still viable. Commercial art is a good opportunity. Space design, which includes architecture, interior design, etc. Product design is a very good emerging field. E-learning is an emerging field. UI and UX, user interface and user experience design, is a very, very powerfully emerging field. Fashion design has been around for quite some time. And of course, we all know media, which is animation and entertainment, they're all there. So I'm going to just cover these areas where opportunities are there and what kind of opportunities. It's going to be, I'm going to just kind of give you a list and give you some kind of examples. It's not going to be very exhaustive because in 1 hour I will not be able to cover all this. So I'm just going to open up your mind saying that these are the opportunities and it is up to you to find where it strikes a chord with you and you can pursue that according to your interest. So first, in fine arts, as a fine artist, so fine arts meaning the painting, artist, independent artist. So can you make your life as an artist? Yes, you can. In fact, you can, if you are really good at that, you can really make a life and make a lot of money as well. The painting which I have just shown on the screen is of M.F. Hussain. So most of you would know M.F. Hussain used to be one of the top rated Indian painter or artist. So his paintings are still valued at crores and crores of rupees. Now, if you want to be an independent artist, if you want to purely pursue your own creations and you want to sell your creations or you want to display your creations, there are opportunities. One is you can go to any of the art galleries and ask them to display your paintings. And if you have enough money, you can organize a show yourself. You can hire an art gallery and you can organize a show yourself, and maybe look at some proceeds out of the sales in that out of that exhibition. And today, life is made a little more simpler because there are so many online galleries are there. You can submit your entry to any of these online galleries, and if they find it to be worth displaying, they will display it and they will put it for auction. And whosoever is interested in buying your painting, they can just buy it and the money will come back to you. Now, it sounds very simple, but it is not all that simple because, as I told you, you need to have a good standing in the market if you want to be on your own. As an independent artist, today there are only few names in India who are recognized at international level. And even at Indian level, there are very few names. And if you ask any of you how many artists you know, so hardly you will remember anybody. If I can ask you who is your cricketer, favorite cricketer, you can say at least about 10-15 names. Who is the best actor, you can say 10-15 names. Who is the best singer, you can say some names. But the fine arts artists are not all that popular. So it is a restricted market. It is a very small market, and you need to be very good at your skills. If you are confident, if you can grow to that level, it is a very good opportunity. So you can still pursue. So as I told you, you can be an independent artist on your own. You can display your works of art either in physical gallery or online gallery. And other than that, if you don't want to be at that elite level where your painting goes for lakhs and lakhs of rupees, there is a certain level which is slightly below that, in the sense not in terms of quality but in terms of marketability. So you can create small works of art and sell it to hospitality industries like hotels, hospitals, offices. They display a lot of. If you take, for example, a hotel. If they have about 100 rooms, each room will require a painting because they need to have a painting to make it look classy. So they will require at least about 100 paintings. So you can get into any of such new hotels or any of the existing hotels and say that I can give you a variety of paintings. So some of the hotels go for a theme-based paintings. They will say, I want only flowers, or I want only sceneries. I want something related to the particular locality. For example, if you go to Mahabalipuram, then they will say, I want something related to Mahabalipuram. Or if you go to Agra, they will say something related to Taj Mahal. So it can be thematic. So if you are good at selling your idea to such hotels, and there could be a good opportunity, you can create your paintings and sell to them. So this is another opportunity. And there is also an opportunity for murals and art for interiors. Today, when people's affordability goes up, as I mentioned earlier, when your basic needs are taken care, then you focus on aesthetics. So a lot of companies as well as homes are willing to pay money for getting their interiors done up very well, aesthetically well. So either they can go for a painting, simple painting, or they can go for murals or any form of art. So this is picking up very, very fast now with social media around. Everybody wants their walls to be painted. Everybody wants their office to be painted. So there is a lot of people who are at that. So if you are good at that, that's a very good opportunity. And when it comes to the commercial space, offices especially the IT offices or any other global companies, now they are moving away from displaying paintings to wall arts. So these wall arts are wall graffiti, they call it as. So they can again be thematic, they can be aesthetically pleasing, and they can be related to the teamwork or related to their business. And today it's a huge opportunity. There are some very good wall arts experts, and normally they tie up with interior designers, they tie up with architects, and they get opportunities. Once you do it at one place, and you keep getting inquiries, and you can keep doing it. And doodling on the wall is becoming a huge hit now. Doodles and doodling on the walls is becoming a fashion now. And any of the restaurants today, if you go to any of the restaurants now, earlier restaurant used to have highly decorative sculptures and those kind of things. Now they have all gone away with that, and they're putting at wall arts, something related to their own industry, or there can be something related to the place. So very creative wall arts are coming up. So people are willing to pay for that, and there are people who can create very good wall art. So it gives a very good feeling, and it enriches the environment, and still it can be an opportunity for people who are in the fine arts side. And portrait artists are again becoming popular now, with photography becoming so diluted. Like earlier, photography is a very specialized area. Today everybody has got a camera, and everybody is good at photography. So people are looking at displaying their own portraits in some other format. So they are looking at either a pencil sketch or a portrait or a painting or a digital portrait. So these are these are all becoming very popular nowadays. People are willing to pay for this. So if you're good at portraits, if you're good at any medium, it can be pencil, it can be watercolor, it can be digital art, there is a good opportunity. And I see a lot of people in Facebook and Instagram marketing themselves as portrait artists, and they always get enough orders. Sitting at home without any hassle, you can keep doing maybe 10-15 portraits a month, and can still make enough money to have a comfortable living. And a variation of the portrait is the cartoonist or the caricature artist. So here again, with social media exploding, like people have explored different ways of reaching out to different occasions. For example, the one what you see here, this is a caricature of a person in a miniature format, which is given as a gift, a personalized gift. So for birthday gifts, you can create a caricature, you can create a small cutout out of that and give it as a gift. And a lot of wedding cards use now caricatures, a lot of invitations use caricatures. So personalized memento and cartoon, caricature, if you are good at that, or if you want to get trained in those kind of areas, there is a good opportunities. Again, it is a very fashionable thing among the young crowd, especially the IT crowd. And you can also be a contributor to online image banks. So this is another big business which is coming up now. If you look at any of the design works, normally, designers used to draw their own stuff, and they need to be good at that. But today, most of the design works, they go to any of the online design portals, and they download images. They download photographs, they download illustration, they download images. So, and they pay for it. The online portals charge for that images, and the part of the charge goes to the creator. So you can actually contribute to the image banks. You can sign up with any of the image banks, like Getty Images, or a lot of portals are there. You can send your pictures there. You can create your own arts and send to them, and they will display. If somebody buys, you will get a part of that. And other than that, conventionally we have this glass painting, tanjore painting, all these decorative items. Tanjore paintings are very typical of our state, and glass paintings are becoming very popular in interior design. And other than this, there are other batiks, other than mandala painting. There are so many different types of painting, so which people specialize in. All those things can be monetized. All those things, if you are really able to do it nicely and position it properly, and through social media, if you are able to market it properly, I think you can still make a good money out of it. And of course, if you are good at arts, you can become an art coaching and art teacher. And today, with lockdown being there, there's an explosion of art coaching and art teaching on the social media. So you can become an art coacher or art teacher, and that can give you enough money. So this is also another opportunity. Now, in any of such opportunities like this, what I am going to tell you is that these 4 parameters. For being a good person in fine arts, what should be your skill level? It should be very high. It is not enough if you are a moderately good or mediocre painter. I know how to paint. It's not enough for you to become an independent artist. You need to be extremely talented, extremely skilled, high skilled painter, and you need to have your own style. And your portfolio needs to be very high. Qualification wise, nobody bothers what is your qualification, whether you are a degree holder, whether you are a PhD holder, or whether you are just a school dropout. It doesn't matter. If you are good at your work, they will get it done. And how do you market yourself? Again, through network, social media, freelance site. This is a channel through which you can position yourself. So this is as far as the fine arts is concerned. Now let's move on to the graphic design part. So before that, I think I just had a message. Balachandran says, many offices and homes pay a lot of money and buy art which lies on the wall forever. To bring in dynamism, variety and constant change can be their new business model. Exactly. So in fact, I would like to tell you, there is a friend of mine who is into the business of rental of paintings, not selling the paintings, but she rents out paintings. So if she has a collection of about 100 paintings, she rotates that by giving as a rental to offices. This is another business model. So this is also a possible money making opportunity. Now coming to the commercial art. So predominantly commercial art, we all know, it starts with graphic design. Graphic design is a very generic term. So what does it mean is, I'm not going to cover the entire spectrum of graphic design. I'm going to cover only a couple of important points. One is, of course, if you are a graphic designer, you can design logos, you can design the brand, you can design corporate identity. So any business needs an identity, needs a branding, needs a logo, or needs some kind of personality to it. So that is done by the person who is good at arts. So a graphic designer who is trained to do a logo design or a corporate identity design. What does corporate identity design mean is that if you have a logo, and if you all the materials related to the corporate communication, they should look identical, or they should look similar. So like visiting cards, or their brochures, their letterheads, their name boards, or their signboards, or their packaging. So all these need to have the common identity. So moment you look at that, you will identify that as a product of a particular brand. For example, if you order anything on Amazon, so Amazon comes with its own identical kind of packaging. So looking at the packaging itself, you know that it's Amazon's stuff. So and Amazon branding is so powerful, they repeat it everywhere. Similarly, if you take Airtel, their offices, their hoardings, their visiting card, their even T-shirts, everywhere, they keep the same identity. For example, if you take Airtel, everybody wears the red color T-shirt. If you go to ICICI, their corporate identity is the orange color. So in that way, who designs all this is a graphic designer or a firm which has got graphic designers. The firm can be a corporate identity design firm. It can be a PR firm. It can also be an advertising agency. It can be their PR media agency. So that agency, and in that agency, who designs that is a logo designer or a brand designer, the graphic designer. That can be you. So if you are good at that, you can still make a living out of that. And apart from doing the brand and logo design, the next step of corporate communication comes out of marketing collaterals, product brochures, annual reports. All these things are designed, all these layouts are done by graphic designers. So this is another major activity in business. And of course, one of the most picking up activity now is a packaging design. Earlier it used to be simple, you can just put everything into a cover, seal it and sell it. Now, that's not enough. People go by the packaging. And, best examples are, the ID idlis or ID coffee decoctions. It's the same product, but when you package it differently and position it in the market, you can appeal to a certain segment of the market much better. And if it is not packaged properly, there is a tendency to look down upon in terms of their quality. So packaging design is becoming a very, very major opportunity for designers. And packaging design comes with 2 or 3 aspects. One is the packaging design by itself, which is done either by an industrial designer or a product designer. And the graffiti on top of it, the graphics on top of it is generally done by the graphic designers. So as a combination, you can still work through that. So this is a good opportunity. And next opportunity is on the point of sale material designing. Like if you walk into any of this mobile shops, you don't see the mobile just placed on the showcases. Now they need to create something very attractive for you to get your attention. The example what I've given here is an Android Sony phone. So the Sony stand and Android background. So this kind of point of sales materials, and it can be a stand like this, it can be a dangler, it can be an invite, it can be a large graffiti on the on their doors. So all these things need to attract people and pull them into the store. So it is also called as in-store promotions. So in-store promotions, point of sale material designs, they are all becoming very, very popular now. So there is a huge opportunity for you if you are interested in that. And if you get into advertising, it is a very age-old business, and it still survives. And in spite of various technological advancement, advertising still survives, print media still survives. And now, even when you go to the digital media, whether it is social media or anything of that kind, advertising will still be there. So if you look at any of the advertising, if you look at this picture, which I am showing it right now, it has got a few elements. One is this visual element. There is a caption, there is a body copy, and there are certain other levels. So there are 2 levels of people here. One is a visualizer, and there is another illustrator. Visualizer is somebody who actually visualizes the entire thing. He says, I want this concept. He creates this concept. An illustrator actually does the illustration part of it. Or it can be the same person. The person can be visualizer come illustrator. So this is done by an artist, and somebody does this layout artist. Once this is done, then the layout artist puts the picture here, puts the headline here, puts the body copy here. All that is possible. It's done by a layout artist. So these are all very conventional opportunities still exist. It's a very good opportunity. Then there you can also specialize in typographic design. For example, just writing it in a simple plain letters like this, you can also write it in different ways. Make the typography itself as a design element. So that is a very good opportunity now. In fact, most of the doodle arts they do. So the typography itself is made in terms of doodle, and that becomes a good attractive design. And You can also get into poster design, promotion design. All those things are possible in advertising if you are into advertising. Now, if you go to the print design side, there's a huge opportunity for illustration for magazines, illustration for textbook. Any of the textbooks, if you look at school books or anything, they need a lot of illustrations to be done. So these illustrations are done by fine artists or graphic designers. And book cover design, or today there is no physical book, even in a digital book. If you want to display your digital book onto Amazon or any other online stores, you need to create a good cover, because people will always go by the cover. Even though they say don't go by the cover, but people, 90% of the people go by the cover. So the cover needs to be attractive. So who does this is again a graphic designer. In fact, cover design, there are people who specialize only on cover design. So if that is the beauty of this field. Once you start doing some 20, 30 cover design, you become a cover designer. So you focus only on that. If you start doing illustration, then you become an illustrator. If you start doing logos, you become a logo designer. So you can kind of specialize in such areas, try to understand the nuances, try to understand the finer aspects of it, and fine tune it, and become a super specialist in such kind of areas. So that is possible. Now, technical illustration and infographics. Infographics is a major opportunity now, because now everything is data, and all the data needs to be presented in a palatable way, which means that it's not enough if you just project the numbers. You need to, just looking at the image, you should be able to understand a lot of things. For example, today we are talking about corona numbers. Every day if you look at the news, they're talking about the corona. They just don't say today in India there's only 9,000 cases. No, it's not enough. So you need to say the last 1 week, how is the graph going? And in Chennai, what is happening? In other parts of the countries, what's happening? And how is it happening across the world? If you look at the world map, where is it red? Where is it orange? Where is it green? That is all done by the designers. That's called infographics, presenting the information in a very graphical way. So that's a huge opportunity, especially in IT companies or any companies which is analytical companies, data-driven companies, media. So everywhere infographics is needed. So if you can specialize in that, that's a huge opportunity. Technical illustration, again, if you want to create a product catalog, if you want to create a user manual, all that require illustrations. That can be a specialization. Children book is a huge market. So children book, anything related to the children is a huge market. And it can also be calendar design, stationery design. That's a very conventional stuff. These are all simple print-oriented design opportunities. And when we talk about digital media, there is again, it's a new media, and which has got huge opportunity for any of the people who have got certain aesthetic sense. You can simply be a web designer. You don't need to be a coder. You can be a web designer, and somebody can code for you. So you can create a web design, and you can conceptualize and give that. This is how my page is going to look like. This is the color scheme. This is the font which I am going to use. This is the picture which I am going to use. So somebody needs to visualize. And generally, the coders are not good at design. If you give web design to anybody who is good at coding, they will create a chunk and give it to you. So it's a web designer who makes it presentable. So that's a huge opportunity. And in social media and digital marketing content design, in social media, if you look at Facebook or Instagram or any other YouTube or anything, you see so many ads, so many banners coming in, so many advertisements coming in. All those needs to be designed specifically for social media. It has got a very specific needs. There are certain limitations. Like for example, in Facebook, if you want to design an ad, they say the text area should be only about less than 15% of the whole total area, and also the sizes are limited. The readability is limited. The attention span is limited. When you scroll through a Facebook timeline, your attention span is hardly a few seconds. So within that few seconds, you want to communicate something. How do you do that? That's a specialization by itself. social media, digital marketing, content design is a very specialized media. Presentation tech designer is like, if you go to any of this IT companies, or if you go to especially the consulting companies, like, any of the large consulting companies, they create presentations day in and day out. Their whole life revolves around presentations. So normally the person who's a technical analyst, he's good at collecting data, putting the data together, but he's not good at presenting it, putting it in a presentable format. Like, he's not good at infographics, he's not good at formatting, he's not good at choosing the right font, choosing the right position. So normally what they have is they have a separate presentation deck designer in large companies, or presentation designer. So the analyst will create a simple wireframe PowerPoint and give it to them, and they need to just lay it out, they need to put it nicely, they need to add relevant visuals and present it in such a way that it is very appealing to the client. And this is a huge market base. In fact, this is a huge market in terms of even outsourcing. There are companies in US who tie up with companies in Chennai or Bangalore to get only the presentation PowerPoint design to be cleaned up. And you won't believe there are about 500, 600 people working in the company, churning out at least about few thousands of PowerPoint day in and day out. So that's a huge market. And of course, corporate presentation, product presentations, these are all part of the corporate communication as well as digital media. So these are the combinations in the commercial art. And here again, what is the skill level required? I'm not saying that, I'm not demeaning by saying that skill level medium is good enough here. You need to be good at, you need to have high skill. But what I mean here as medium is that if you want to get employed into any design studio, you don't need to be exceptionally good to be an independent artist. They will take you and they will train you. So that way, the medium skill level is also good enough. If you have got a medium skill level, you can still get into any of these activities. And your portfolio strength, again, if it is medium, that's good enough. It needs to be good enough to get into that job. Then they will train you. So that is as far as employment is concerned. But if you want to be on your own, if you want to be your own, if you're running your own firm, then your quality has to be very high. Qualification here is important, unlike independent artists, because here, people also, since you are interfacing with the corporate, interfacing with the job market, they look at your basic qualification. But it need not be a qualification in certain area, but they have a weightage for qualification. For example, I'll give an example. If I am a recruiter, if I want to recruit a character designer, illustration designer person, I would rather recruit a person who is a BFA artist rather than an engineer. An engineer maybe is good at drawing, but I would recruit somebody who is with the BFA background for illustrations. Similarly, for infographics, they would prefer an engineer than a BFA graduate, because engineer will understand the numbers better than the BFA graduate. So these are general perception. I'm not trying to be judgmental here, but these are the general perception. So it has a weightage. So that's why I'm saying qualification has an impact in these kind of areas, the commercial art, and you need to be good at digital tools. Now, this is very, very important if you want to get into any of these areas, commercial art. Because today, none of the commercial arts work in paper and pencils. They all work on the digital media. And even the print, the layout, the printing, even the posters, banners, everything works on digital media. So you need to be good at digital tools. You need to be good at least few digital tools. Either it could be an Adobe set, or it could be CorelDRAW, or any other software. So you need to be good at that. And channels for you to get opportunity here is obviously the job sites, referrals, network, social media. There are a lot of freelance sites through which you can also get some orders. So these are all the possible areas if you want to get into that. Now, I want to quickly make it faster. In space design, many of us know, it's in architecture design, interior design, landscape design, urban design, town planning, all this come under architects. And architects also do exhibition design, set design, stage design. These are all some of the examples. And signage design is something, it's becoming very popular now. People want all the signage to be aesthetically looking good. And inclusive design is something which is becoming very popular. How do you design the space and products to include disability, include other people who are not able to use a normal way? So that is becoming a highly specialized area. So if you are design oriented, if you are fine arts oriented, you can contribute to any of these things. And here again, the skill level is high or medium, depending on whether you want to get an employment or whether if you want to be on your own. Portfolio is also high and medium. Qualification is very important. Architect especially, you cannot practice architecture unless you're an architect. So it's like if you are an engineer, you can still become a graphic designer. But if you're an architect, you can become a graphic designer. But the engineer cannot be an architect. A graphic designer cannot be an architect. Architecture requires qualification. So that is very important here. And here again, channels are job sites, referrals, networks, social media, freelance, and other things. Now, product design is again, it's a relatively new emerging field in India. Most of our products are not designed in India, and it's all coming from outside. But nowadays, it's picking up well. I am a product designer by qualification. So even at 25 years before, it used to be emerging field, and even today it continues to be like that. It's not grown so very high. So, but still there are opportunities. You can be an automobile designer. You can be a designer of a consumer product. So if you look at any of the consumer products right now, whether it is a mobile or whether it is a utensils, whether it is a TV or anything, that needs to be designed properly. So who does that design is a product designer. And toys is a very good market now. Today the toys are not very same as what it used to be a few years back. Very creative toys, very creative children-oriented products, learning kits. So they are all becoming a huge market now. Medical equipments require a lot of design works from the product designer. Furniture design is another possibility. Upcycled product is a very, very upcoming thing. How do you use the already used product and make a product out of it? For example, here you see all the tires and the drums are used to make furniture. So this is becoming a huge opportunity now. Ceramic design, pottery has always been a very conventionally focus area for people who are creative bent of mind. So here again, the skill level can be high or medium depending on whether you want to be on your own or whether you want to take up an employment. Portfolio again is a high or medium. Qualification is very important, especially if you want to be in product design. Channels, again, job sites, referrals, networks, social media, and freelance sites. UI and UX design is again an emerging field, user interface and user experience. Like if you take any of the mobile applications today, how does the screen look like? What is the color scheme? Where is the button? Where is the size? What is the size of the whatever intimations what they want to give? All that is designed by the UX and UI person. And icon design is becoming a popular thing because with mobile everywhere now it is icons. The entire interface is driven by icons rather than the text. So this is becoming quite popular. E-learning is becoming a huge industry, especially with the lockdown. Now everybody is moving on to e-learning. So e-learning again has got different segment. Like you can be a graphic designer. If you look at the typical e-learning course, it will be like this. So there is a illustration, there is a layout. So you can be a graphic designer, a illustration artist, or you can be a learning content animator. E-books are becoming again popular. Software tutorials, how to use this particular software, how to use Photoshop, how to use CorelDRAW. Those software tutorials are being designed by designers. User manuals are also being done. Here the skill level is medium, especially in e-learning and area, this medium is good enough. But in UI and UX, it is very high. Portfolio is okay, medium. Qualification is very important. Digital tools are very, very important. And the channels are job sites, referrals, and networks. Fashion design, as all of you know, it is. I don't want to spend much time here in fashion design. It's a conventional design where you can get into dress design, you can get into accessory design, you can get into footwear or bag design, you can get into t-shirt design. So here again, skill level is high or medium, depending on whether you want to be on your own or you want to be employed. Qualification is important. Channels are job sites, referrals, networks. And media, finally, you can be on your own as a photographer, you can be a video creator, you can be an editor, you can be a digital media design creator, you can be a social media content creator. So all those things are there. In animation, there are again two types. It can be a 2D animation, it can be a 3D animation. You can be an animator or you can be a character designer. For example, if you look at this Chota Bheem, somebody creates this character as a Chota Bheem. And once the character is created, somebody animates it and somebody does the background design and somebody puts everything together. That's called composite thing. And before they get into animation, they do something called storyboard. You know what you see here, what I'm finding it right now. They try to draw these things in a rough sketch and make sure that every frame is correct before they get into animation, because getting into animation is little expensive and correction there will cost you more time and money. So they want to make sure that everything is in order before they get onto the production side. So that's called storyboarding. So there are people who specialize in storyboard design, a storyboard artist. So if you give a storyboard in text format, they will put it into a picture format. So one needs to be good at characters drawing. One needs to be good at positions, all these characters, human postures, they need to be good at. If they are good at, they can become a storyboard artist. Now, you can also be a background artist, you can be a special effect artist, you can be a compositor, you can also be a game designer. So this is another interesting field which is coming up. So here again, skill level is very high or medium, portfolio is high or medium, qualification is very important, digital tools are very, very important, and you can get channels as job site, referrals, or network. Now, quickly, in about the next 2 minutes, I'm just going to give you, I will send this recorded video as a separate link to you, all of you. You can actually go through it once, even after this meeting is over. You can go through all these things. What are the options of, these are all the top colleges. These are all not extensive list. What are the colleges where you can do courses in fine arts, architecture, design, and Viscom and multimedia is what I have put in. I can send you separately, so I don't want to waste time here. And what are the opportunities here as an employment? You can get employed in advertising agency, multimedia companies, e-learning companies, large corporate companies, architectural firms, design firms, animation studios, YouTube channels, media, publication, software development, UX companies, web design. These are all the places where you can find employment. If you want to be on your own, you can be an independent artist, you can be an art coach teacher, you can be an art appreciator, you can be a freelance graphic designer, you can be a storyboard artist, you can be a photographer, you can be a set designer, you can be a fashion designer, or you can be a UX designer also. And there are also entrepreneurial options where you can start up your own design studio, you can start your own event companies, web design company, photography studio, fashion studio, architecture firms, design studio, game development company, UX and UI firms. So these are all the opportunities in terms of three categories, whether you want to be an employer, or whether you want to be on your own, whether you want to start a firm. So this is all what overall opportunities. And just to conclude, what I would say is to be successful in this field, as I told you in the beginning itself, you need to continue to improve your skills. Now, there is no end to learning, so you need to be extremely good at your skills and be up to date with skills in new tools. Every day is new, and enjoy doing whatever you do. Creativity can be expressed in anything what you do, so you need to enjoy really what you do, and you need to develop people's skills. Because most of the time the designers are in their own world. If you are in your own world, then you get lesser opportunities. You need to develop the people's skills, and more importantly, you need to get inspired constantly. You look for inspiration everywhere. There is an inspiration everywhere, so you need to get inspired constantly, and you need to in turn inspire others. So this is the key for success. If you are able to do all this, you can still look at fine arts as a very good career, and I am sure you will be able to be successful And as I told you, it is passion driven. And if you are good at your work, definitely you can make a life out of it. There are some chat messages. Will we receive an e-certificate after the session? It doesn't matter actually. I mean, I'm not planning to give any e-certificate. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go and show to somebody that I've got a certificate of attending this course. That's not going to have any value. If you understand the concept, then it's good enough. And we have a diploma in visual arts in Kalakshetra, Chennai, in 4-year course, which is really extensive. Yes, yeah, there are a lot of courses. As I told you, I've not covered all the courses, but there are a lot of courses which are available. And in case if you have any questions, you can just put your questions on the chat box. I can immediately respond to that. Somebody has raised a hand some time back. Hiran, can you just tell your question? I've just unmuted.
Yeah, hi sir.
Yeah.
I have a question. Let's say I want to get into a design program.
Okay.
Is there necessary that I only can go into that field, or can I like also do some other at this, like, you know, side by side?
Yeah, you can do anything. For example, I am a product designer by qualification, but I have done so many other things. I have done animation, I have done e-learning, I have done graphic design. I have also done some painting. So it is not necessary that, but the other way is true. You know, if you want to be in product design, you need to have a design qualification.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I told you. If you are a graphic designer, you cannot become an architect, you cannot become product designer. But if you're an architect, you can become a graphic designer.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So it's very short period to discuss about this topic, because this topic is a very, very large topic. But this is just an introductory thing. I just want to leave a message with all of you, saying that if you're really interested in making a career out of fine arts, either for you or for your children, I would only say that yes, it is possible. Definitely, there is an option, there is a market, provided you equip yourself accordingly. So I think that's a message. So it is not bad if somebody says, my daughter wants to be in fine arts and I'm really disappointed. Don't be disappointed. I mean, probably she'll do better in fine arts than being an engineer or being a doctor. So just allow them to be on their own. If they find that there is a passion there, let them go after their passion. There is a question saying that how do we improve our creativity? I mean, it's a creativity, improving creativity is, it's a lifelong process. It's not that you attend a couple of workshops and suddenly you become creative. No. So it is a lifelong process, and there are methods which the workshops can give you, but you need to constantly get inspired, and the inspiration is the one which will drive your creativity. So that's a big subject by itself. So I think we will deal with that little later. Second question is, to do animation drawing, is there any specific tools to be used? There are many tools. One is, of course, Adobe Animator Pro is one thing. There are other things. Flash is used to be the standard. Now Flash is not used anymore. So Adobe Animation Pro is one. Then there are a lot of other tools. If you want to looking at 3D animation, then there is Maya, there is 3D Studio. All these things are there. Do fashion designing require tailoring experience? No, it doesn't. So fashion design, you don't need to be a tailor to become a fashion designer. So tailoring is part of fashion designer, but the tailoring experience is not required. What is the best course to do if we do fine arts with humanity and economics? Again, depends on your interest. As I told you, I've given you the complete arena. Whether you want to be a graphic designer, whether you want to be a fine arts, you want to be into product design, or whether you want to be in architecture, that you need to decide. If you want to be in fine arts, you need to go to schools like Chennai School of Fine Arts or Kumbakonam or even Laila. I think Stella Maris offers a course. And if you want to be in graphic design or a Viscom, there are again a lot of people. If you want to be in product design, there are specific design schools which offer product design, like IDC, IIT Bombay or IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, or NID, National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. Or there are private institutions like Srishti in Bangalore. All those things offer. Is science background required in +2 for taking a product design course? No. For product design course, no, I don't think it is required. They have a common test. Once you pass the common test, I think you can get into that in the undergraduate level. But if you want to get into postgraduate level, then a basic degree should be, if you want to get into IITs, then the basic degree should be either engineering or architecture. They don't take arts students for post-graduation. If you are interested in art, how do we get your hand on one type of art? No, that again depends on your interest. Some people are good at watercolor, some people are good at oil painting, some people are good at digital painting. You need to discover what is your area of strength. Then you persuade on that, you get trained in that, sharpen your skills in that, look at how other people are doing in that area, then how can you create your own style in that area. That will help you. If we want to do a part-time job in fine art while we work in a private company, is it legal? It depends on your contract with your company. Certain companies allow anything. Certain companies have a very clear contract saying that you're not supposed to take any other business activity. So that depends on your contract with your company. So final question, Yardini says, for larger scope, is fine arts better or Viscom better? Viscom is better in the sense it opens out more doors to you, because once you are into Viscom, you can still get into electronic media, you can get into photography, video side, you can also get into graphic side, you can also get into fine arts. But fine arts will be more specialized job. So that way, if you're looking at a broader opportunity, Viscom is better. Okay, thank you so much. All of you have been very patient enough to listen to me. I hope I have shared some of my experience which will be useful to you. And I'm sure, with this simple inputs, you can probably, it will help you to, in some way, design your future. So thank you so much. And hopefully we'll meet again with some other session.